Perception is everything. Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Hayashi, magician, speaker, all around, communications guy. More and more people have started asking me to go into this. This is part of my series Behind the Magic, in which I don't reveal the magic, teaching the secret moves or teaching how to do magic tricks, but rather I talk about some of the psychology that goes into the magic when you think about presentation, perception, message, meaning, and motivation. I've got a couple of great examples to illustrate, not only in magic, but in any communication situation, how the way you are perceived or the way your message is perceived is quite often heavier in meaning than the actual content of your words. Now, the guys in my Hayashi Magic Academy team are going to laugh at this, but I have to give as an example a situation we had in our last team training session. We had a few friends and friends of friends show up just as a lay audience, a test audience to watch some routines. And one of the performers from my group did a routine where he had a card selected. I'm not even going to perform the routine, I'll just describe it. Had a card selected, had it returned to the deck, and then magically would have that card appear in an impossible location. Upon careful review of this tutorial, it has been deemed by the Ministry of Magic to be unnecessary for you to know the magical and impossible location of the revealed card. So I'm not going to spoil this routine for you, even though I'm not explaining it or performing it, but you may see it performed one day by a magician somewhere, and you should enjoy the routine in its entirety. All right, back to the explanation. Starts thumbing off cards so that they all fall, and as the cards fall, he starts showing cards like this, pausing for a moment to give the spectator the chance to say, no, it's not my card. So he shows a wrong card, a wrong card, a wrong card, and we had a hilarious moment where he took a card and he went like this. And the spectator actually reacted to it and said, yeah, no, it's not my card. Now, why did the magician, the performer in this case, showed the wrong card? It wasn't the chosen card. Well, here, let me just grab a random. Showed a random wrong card, which was not the chosen card. Showed the wrong card. It happened to have the same color. Okay, this helps add to the confusion. But it was the body language. It was the decisiveness, the certainty of, just sort of the rhythm of that gesture that sold it. And the spectator said, yeah! No, hang on, that's not my card. Oh, we killed ourselves laughing because it goes to illustrate how amazed an audience will be if you sell that moment. Perception is everything. Now, here's one of my favorite examples of how far this can go. Perception is everything. In the year 2004, I entered the French National Championships of Magic. There was no rule against people from other countries entering their competition. It was an open championships. I was living in Germany at that time as an Asian Canadian English speaker, and I registered for the French National Championships of Magic held by their organization, AFAP, or in French, AFAP, Association. It means something in French. I think it's something like Association Fédération des Artistes Prédigitateurs. I'm making that up. I can't remember. But anyway, the AFAP 2004, I ended up winning in the category of card magic just because I had a really solid act in those days. What I did was I showed up, and this was in an era at that time when not a lot of foreign competitors would enter. You didn't get guys coming from Germany or anywhere else in Europe, and they did not get non-French speakers. So if you didn't speak French, if you spoke German or whatever other language, Spanish, Italian, English, they they had never seen your kind before. All right. So I showed up, breaking the mold, and the organizers, they were worried about this. They were asking, who is this, the Ryan Hayashi? He's from Germany. Where is he? Oh, the Asian guy? Oh no, what do we do? And I said, hi, how you doing? I'm Ryan Hayashi. And they panicked. You could say, oh no, please, you must understand our competition is only in French, everything French language. And then I answered, okay, bon, c'est pas problème, je vais le faire en français. I said, all right, not a problem, I'm gonna do it in French. And they were like, oh. And then before they announced me to come on, they actually, I've got the video, it's great. I've got every video of every major performance and competition I've done in the last 20 years. They actually said, ladies and gentlemen, the next competitor is Canadian, of Asian origin, and has learned to perform his act in French specifically for this competition today. And the audience applauded before I even went out. Great moment. And then I ended up winning the thing. Now, before I was on, one of the French competitors, who, I can't remember his name, but he was French, was a youngish guy who looked younger than me. And what are we going, 2004? I was 31 at the time, right? And this was an era when cardistry was not called cardistry, it was called XCM, extreme card manipulation. Doing all of this crazy, these packet cuts was called XCM in those days. And the French competitor, I went in to check out the room before the contest started. This was a 3-day convention, this event. And I walked into the auditorium and went to the table, started yelling out some animal sounds, getting a feeling for how far am I from the corners, the angles, the back row, the echo in the room. I just wanted to feel the space before I made it my stage. And then I went off to the side and I saw a French competitor come out, and he did, I can't imitate it. Literally the largest packet flourish cut I can do now without dropping everything is this. It's a 5-packet cut that I made up myself. Okay. He opened up like a transformer into some monstrous 10-packet cut. And it looked like you would need several hands to hold a bridge of cards from here out to here. I can't remember how he did it. He was using his chin, or somehow he did this fantastic move, folded it up, and his body language was like, and you could see that was supposed to be the highlight of his act, where everyone was supposed to just lose their minds and give him a standing ovation and clap. So in this moment, what I did, because I was standing off to the side and he didn't notice I was there because I was just standing there watching him, trying to get a vibe for what I was up against. And then he looked over, as I saw him do this move, I grabbed my deck of cards out of my pocket, was get in position, because in those days, back in 2003, I had invented 1-packet flourish cut. Let me try to show it to you. That went beyond this. This is a 5-packet cut. At one point, I invented one. It was on my first released tutorial DVD in 2004, which I called the Dragon Cut. It had 7 packets, and that was 5, so it looked a little bit bigger and prettier than that. Okay, and then I waited till he looked over, and I did the Dragon Cut, which I'll imitate now, just the body language. I looked over at him. I can only imitate 5, just so you're aware. It's not exactly the same, but I did something that looked a little bit bigger and better than this. Okay? And then I looked over at him and walked away. And in this moment, I could see him deflate. I could see actual fear of... I saw panic in the guy's eyes. And then he was up before me as one of the competitors in the same category of card magic, in French, cartomagie. And he was a French speaker. He looked on point. He looked focused. He walked out. Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Je m'appelle, je sais pas, François. Je vais montrer quelque chose. And just everything seemed on point until I saw his hand shake. And then I saw him actually fumble and drop a couple of cards and have to pick them back up. And then he went into an impossible position where he had a card chosen. He did some fantastic reveal with no way out. He did some sort of I forget what it was, and said, "And is this your card?" And the spectator who he had brought to the table said, no, it's not. And he literally said, now I'm making up the words, he said it in French, I can understand basic French, but something along the lines, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I cannot continue, and walked off the stage, and he was done. And then I came on, and I blew the roof off the room. Now, I met him after the competition, and he's looking like some sad, defeated guy in the bar, and I bought him a beer and said, hey man, nice to meet you. And his first question out of his mouth was, that thing you did, was that an 11 packet cut? Because in those days of early cardistry or XCM, extreme card manipulation, it was about how many packets you could have moving in a flourish cut. And he asked me, was that an 11 packet cut? Now, why would he ask that? My answer to him was to ask him, why are you asking that? In your act, if you had made it to the end, were you planning a 10 packet cut? Yes, I was. How do you know? Well, I watched you rehearsing, bro. And listen, I'm sorry to what I did to you. And he wasn't even aware of it. He said, what do you mean what you did to me? I'm meeting you now for the first time. Congrats on what you did. It was amazing, mind-blowing stuff. I said, no, dude, I didn't attack you physically, but I destroyed your mind before you walked out. What I did was a 7 packet cut. And if the greatest move, the highlight of your stage time, was going to be a 10 packet cut, that's why you're now asking me if I had somehow miraculously learned somewhere an 11 packet cut. No, it was a 7 packet cut. I'll show it to you. Yours, if we do it side by side on video, is actually more beautiful. How I got to you was with my calm. And so you see what I mean? That illustrates the power of perception. He perceived an 11 packet cut. He perceived some Asian-looking dude with an American accent coming from Germany, if he had bothered to ask around, who he'd never seen before in the French magic scene, doing some alien-level, impossible move with cards he'd never seen before, because it had a different look. I made up my own flourish cut. And he perceived danger. He perceived, a next-level competitor that would just, give him reason to be afraid. Then he got afraid. Then his hands were shaking. Then he was fumbling and dropping stuff. And then he got the reveal wrong and had to walk off stage and say, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I can't continue. So that's the power of perception. I wish I knew the guy's name. I'd look him up on Facebook and see if he's all right now all these years later. That was 16 years ago. Wow, time flies. Okay, so maybe you can feel this a little bit, but I very much enjoy, even more than just actually teaching the secret moves, even more than teaching magic, which I enjoy very much for those who enter into this relationship with me and want to become students of mine. I very much enjoy talking about this, which is the real magic, the presentation, the performance, the perception, and it's a lot more of the magic than the actual physical magic itself. Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this talk. Thank you very much. And I've got enough other topics coming up that I'll add to this series. And I think I already said this. I want to explain the Magician's Code, which has to be followed by all members of all magic associations worldwide that belong to the FISM, the International Federation of Magic Societies. All right, so until next time.